As we are live here at the Big Boy Arena, the Priority Rink 1, and it is the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League playoffs. So, hockey fans, Michigan Girls High School Hockey League playoffs are live and on the air. As we're excited to be back, as the winner of this game plays for the gets to play on Saturday for the Division II championship. Today we have Livonia United. They are 14 wins, 2 losses, no draws, 28 points, and first place in Division II. And then they are versus the Walled Lake Wild. They have 8 wins, 6 losses, 2 draws, 4th place in Division II. Taking a little bit of a look about each of these teams. We'll start with Livonia United. Taking a look at their top point getters. Who do you want to pay attention to? First is number 26, Hammond. She has 18 points on 12 goals and 6 assists. Stevens, number 24, has 17 points on 10 goals and 7 assists. Howell, number 9, has 16 points on 11 goals and 5 assists. Knapp, number 18, has 14 points on 6 goals and 8 assists. Then a tie. Manansala, number 8, has 10 points on 3 goals and 7 assists. And Otto, number 19, has 5 points and 5 goals and 5 assists for 10 points out there. Ferris has the largest number of starts. She's played 15 games. Alfonsi has only played a single game throughout the season. And a save percentage for Ferris is .883, so solid save percentage, 1.53 goals against average. This is a team that only lost 2 games. They started off, they beat the Walled Lake Wild 1-0 at the on November 5th. And then these 2 teams played back on January 31st, and that was a Livonia United win 3-0. But you never know what happens during the playoffs. The 2 losses, Cranswick Kingswood, who is playing a little later in the other rink, rink 3. They beat them 4-2, and then the other one was versus Regina, who is no longer in the playoffs, and they lost that one 4-3. Taking a look at Walled Lake, their top point getter is number 20, Sofa. She has 22 points on 20 goals and 2 assists. Greco has 14 points on 5 goals and 9 assists. McQuarrie has 12 points on 6 goals and 6 assists. Just a sec. What's up? Yeah, no, it's on our broadcast. So, there you go. Yep. We're broadcasting all the games. Live and on demand. Sorry, I am Chief Cook and Bottle Washer answering questions here while showing people what's going on. So I love it. I appreciate that. McQuarrie has 12 points on 6 goals and 6 assists. Ava Atwood has 11 points on 6 goals, 5 assists. And rounding out the top 5, number 40, Engel, has 9 points on 1 goal and 8 assists. It has been predominantly O'Connell between the pipes. She got the start the other day. She has a .938 save percentage and a 1.76 goals against average. And we talked about the last times these 2 folks played each other. Let's talk about the last game here. As let me just switch. Here we go. Trying to do everything on the internet, and that doesn't always work. Awesome. Okay, here we go. So taking a look at the last games for these folks back on the 28th, and Livonia United beat Ann Arbor Pioneer. As pulling that up, that was a 5-2 win by Livonia United. They had scores in the second at 5:11 from Knapp, her first to the playoffs. Then at 4:48, it was Hammond who got her first to the playoffs. That put them up 2-1. Pioneer scored. Portinga got a goal at 4:33, and then the game-winning goal came from Manasala. That was at 2:35 in the second there. In the third period, Manasala had her second goal of the playoffs at 9:27. Bacalus scored for Pioneer at 2:05, and then Mansala scored her third of the playoffs at 1:43. So that was the scores there. As we take a look at the next, let me go back and taking a look at the Walled Lake game. We also got to broadcast that one. That was 3-0 Walled Lake with the win over Bloomfield Birmingham. That game started with a 5:54 game-winning goal by McQuarrie. That in the second, then in the third, Ava Atwood had her first goal of the playoffs at 9:58, and Greco had her first goal of the playoffs with 7 seconds left in that period. I believe that was an empty net goal, but something to keep an eye on out there. So we are very excited about to get going here, as we are very grateful for you showing up and watching, and all the people here live. We appreciate that, all the support for these teams and this fantastic sport. Again, winner advances to play on Saturday. That would be the Division II. That would be the second of the 3 games on Saturday. And so it goes Division III first, then Division II, then Division I in order on Saturday. We will have all 3 of those games live and on demand for you as well. Walled Lake is in their black sweaters with the Wild on the front. They have the red and white and blue accents, black pants, and dark socks with the accents. In the other side, Livonia United is in their white sweaters with the blue sleeves and the red, white, and blue across. The Livonia on the front there. Ooh, they're having some issues with the mic across the way. They have their numbers on the sleeves on the back. They have the dark blue pants and the white socks out there. That is a unique sound, if ever, over there. So hopefully that'll go away. That is not on my end, folks, I promise you. But again, we have a lot of wonderful volunteers who run the scoreboard, who do all this stuff here. We cannot have this game without all of these fantastic volunteers. So we are very, very grateful to them, for you, for watching and supporting these squads, as we are about to have the starting lineups. So they'll start with the Walled Lake Wild for the starting lineups. 15 minutes up on the clock. Good crowd here. Not easy to get here right after work, but good crowd. We appreciate that. As the announcer welcoming everyone. Talking about some sportsmanship, things of that nature. As we should have the starting lineups momentarily. So first for Walled Lake. So skating out is Greco to the blue line. Next coming out is McQuarrie. Next skating out to the blue line is Rawhut. And then it's going to be O'Connell, and I think Sofa was the other starter. Now skating out for Livonia United, it's Knapp to the blue line. And skating out, that is going to be Otto. Then it's Conti to the blue line. Next is Howell. And then Henderson. And Ferris is the starting goalkeeper. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, the playing of the national anthem. are about to get underway. We have three broadcast teams going today. So if you don't see the game that you are looking for, you can certainly check that out. And if you're on the Arbor Broadcasting page, if you click the little menu up at the top right, you can get to the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League page. And then the top page should have all the games, one up, but all the games underneath are to the right. And if you scroll down, I have it by rank. So it should be rank 1, rank 3, and rank 5. So Walled Lake heads out onto the ice. Here comes Livonia. Winner advances to the state championship game for Division II. Loser's season is over. Knapp in to take the face off. On the other side is Rahat. That puck in along the near boards. Battle for it, trying to dig it out of there. Otto, as that comes right to the blue line, now deflected, right at center ice, picked up by Knapp. Knapp comes down the far boards, trying to tip it away over there is Sofa. As that puck right back behind the goal, centering attempt, as that deflected into the near corner. Otto trying to pull it out of there. As that puck goes outside the far circle, moved around by McQuarrie. And down the near boards, here comes Howell. Howell launches it right back into the wild end. Now go right back behind O'Connell, picked up and fired by Sofa in along the near boards, back into the neutral zone. Howell has it at her own blue line, trying to avoid pressure by McQuarrie. Howell over center ice. Howell gains his own shot there, and it got deflected into the far corner. As that's chipped right back behind by Conti, picked up. Conti has it, now moved over, backhanded shot by Otto. Good save by O'Connell, puck into the near corner. Still trying to dig it out there outside the near circle. Going back is Graysdorf. Puck comes back to the near point. Howell fires it, that just goes wide to the far side. Over to try and get it, Sofa sends it to the far point. Held in back over there by Larson. Puck on the far circle. Sofa again trying to get it out. Now go all the way down the ice. 13:33 left to go here in the first. That's going to be icing and head right back into the wild end. As they will have that. We'll see where Livonia chooses. They want it in the far circle or the near circle. They're going to pick the far circle. So face off in the far circle. That's to O'Connell's right. As in to take the face-off over there. Hammond on one side. And then on the other side is Ava Atwood. That puck loose on the far circle. Bouncing puck into the slot. That sent to the blue line. Fired from there. O'Connell with the save. And then that steered into the near corner. Excellent work back over there by McQuarrie. Puck again all the way onto the far circle. Wouldn't settle down back there. Now coming the other direction, that fire by Tim down into the neutral zone. Trying to tip it away back over there is Henderson. Now brought in and fired back deep as that goes all the way around. Ava Atwood puts it in. Puck in along the near boards. Trying to dig it out of there in Livonia end. As that's sent around by Tim, top of the far circle, picked up over there by Shipley. Shipley trying to get it to the neutral zone. That fired right back over. Tim trying to get it for Walled Lake. Tim firing it down the near boards. That Ava Atwood tips it in, and here comes Austin. Austin for Livonia United. That rolls on edge all the way back into the wild zone. Over to get it is McQuarrie. McQuarrie sends it for a ride all the way around the board. Stopped by Shipley. Shipley puts it into the far corner. Back over to get to it, trying to pull it out of there is Ava Atwood into the slot. Shot there. That deflects into the far corner by Knapp. Knapp goes to get it outside the far circle. Fired, tipped as just over the stick. Good opportunity for Livonia. They had a player on the near side of the crease, and that puck wouldn't settle down. Outside the near circle, still racing to get to it. Knapp trying to pull it away. That bounces into the neutral zone. Grabbed there by Henderson. Henderson turning on it, trying to avoid pressure by Laz. Puck tips back out. Laz trying to fire it down. Now controlled by the Wild. as that deflected ahead. Laz doesn't see it. That picked up by Shipley. Shipley trying to get in. Forrest trying to knock that away. Forrest outside the far circle. Shipley fires it right back behind O'Connell. Back to get it is Graysdorf. Graysdorf feeds it in along the near boards, trying to move it over to Greco. Puck into the near corner. Now pulled back by Graysdorf. And along the near board, still trying to dig it out of there. Rawhut trying to get to it. Now Graysdorf takes it underneath the far circle of her own zone. Rims it the other way. They'll come all the way back right near the near point as fired back deep. Good job by Knapp to fire it before a line change. Puck into the neutral zone. Trying to bring it ahead over there is Statham. Puck in along the far boards, brought in. Coming in, McQuarrie had it. McQuarrie then fired into the near corner of Livonia. Statham with it outside the near circle. Statham coming down the near boards and into the neutral zone. Statham making a move, gets it over. Shot there as that deflects. I believe that was Manasala with it. Outside the far circle, shot, saved by O'Connell, loose in the slot as Graysdorf feeds it all the way down the ice. 10:35 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far between the two teams. Roberts has it in along the end boards of her own zone, goes back behind as Ferris, that puck in along the near boards, held in by Graysdorf, loose in the slot. Roberts feeds it down the far boards, now gathered up by Conti. Conti over center ice down the far side of the ice. Conti takes a shot, that good pad save. Now Otto trying to fire it from the near circle as Wald Lake gets the puck right back into the neutral zone. Howell fires it back deep. Sofa chases it into the far corner for Wald Lake. Sofa has it outside the far circle. She tries to lift it out, that into the neutral zone. Steer it away and over center ice. Knapp fires it back deep into the Wald Lake zone, and a good save by O'Connell. 9:49 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far between these two teams. It is the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League playoffs. Here, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. We're very proud to bring you these amazing athletes, these fantastic teams. Thank you for all of your support of these folks. Knapp trying to win that. On the other side was Ava Atwood. Puck into the far corner. Trying to chip it over to Shipley. That goes right through the crease. Bounces off the near board. Over Tim, trying to dig it off the near boards. Fired right back in, deep by Howe. Deflected. And along the near boards outside the near circle, still digging, still trying to pull it away and levering. Ava Atwood in there trying to pull that back. Now Knapp on that near circle, spinning with it is Forrest. Forrest trying to feed it out of the zone. Puck back into the neutral zone. Howell trying to fire it back in deep, and a whistle. I believe that was offsides. 9:16 left to go here in the first. Face off in the near face off circle just outside of the Walled Lake zone. Scoreless so far between the two squads. Hammond in to take the face-off versus Ava Atwood. And puck, Hammond fires it from her knees. Now Otto chasing it. Steered into the near corner by O'Connell. That fired all the way around. Grabbed by Johnson. Johnson will move it to the far point. Held in by Henderson. Henderson trying to fire it deep. That covered up by O'Connell. 8:56 left to go here in the first. Scoreless between these two squads. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Hammond in to take the face-off. On the other side is Rawhut. That puck. Austin sends it in along the end boards. Now Sofa moves it into the near corner. Grabbed over there by Graysdorf. Graysdorf trying to move it down the near boards. That puck up into the Wild Lake Wild bench. 8:42 left to go here in the first. Still scoreless between these two squads. Face-off will be in the near face-off circle. That is to O'Connell's left. And it's going to be Hammond versus Rawhut. Trying to move it back deep over there is Statham, now bringing it the other direction, coming in. Here comes the Wild as Greco firing it, moving it over across. That puck into the near corner. Statham trying to pop it away. McQuarrie looking to get to it. That puck comes in along the near boards. Graysdorf holds it in at the near point. That puck outside the near circle. Now Roberts trying to chip it away from Greco. Coming in, Rawhut trying to get that, comes right back behind Ferris. Now the puck underneath the near circle. Still trying to poke it away back there. Statham, puck right into the crease. Chipped as that'll go all the way back to the far point, but held in there by Walled Lake. Shot by Rock, comes all the way outside the near circle in Livonia end. As that puck into the near corner, still trying to dig it away. Hammond feeds it outside the far circle. Now Conti picks it up there, trying to move it out of the zone. Held in at the blue line, shot there, just goes wide, deflects off of the near boards, fire with it off the side of the net as Greco trying to fire that in. Battle underneath the far circle in along the end lines. That whipped all the way around by Hammond, as that will come back out into the neutral zone and all the way down into the wild end. Walled Lake gathers it up there, trying to bring it down the near board. Shipley got it, has it. Now here comes Knapp. Knapp, top of the far circle. Knapp has it in the far corner, trying to move it over to Shipley. And pulled away back there by Rawhut. Back to the far point, and now come into the neutral zone. Tim trying to get to it, as Howell trying to poke that away. Tim has it on the far circle for Walled Lake, as that's poked right into the slot. Deflected off of the dasher. Here comes Shipley. Shipley gains the wild zone. Shipley moves it right back behind O'Connell as that comes off of the dasher and moved back into the neutral zone. Good job to clear it from in front by Graysdorf, as Livonia looks to reset. 6:41 left to go, coming into it. Here comes Laz. Laz has that poked away and along the far boards, as they'll come right back. Trying to make a move around. Over there is Manasala. Manasala gets it back into the neutral zone. Engel has it, moving ahead from her own blue line, as that's brought right back into Walled Lake's zone. Forrest sends it for ride along the far boards, getting it over to Laz. Held in at that far point. Still held in. Now fired down by Ava Atwood right at the Walled Lake blue line. Moved ahead. Livonia trying to get it right back the other direction, as that puck will come into the Livonia zone. Howell sends it to center ice. Here comes Conti. Conti has that knocked away by Forrest. Forrest gets it into Livonia zone, but Hammond fires it the other direction. That slips back into the Walled Lake end. Big blast there by McQuarrie, trying to get it out. Puck into the near corner. Grabbing it over there is Ava Atwood. Now bringing it ahead is Greco. Greco over center ice. Greco gains Livonia zone. Greco avoids a poke check underneath the near circle, as she has it back behind the goal. Firing it into the slot. Picked up and deflected back into the neutral zone. Grabbed there by Graysdorf. Graysdorf trying to chip it right back ahead into Livonia end. Austin grabs it, as that's picked up by Henderson off of the end boards. It's fired ahead. Grabbed by the Wild, as Sofa gets it to the Livonia blue line. Now Henderson moves it, top of the far circle. Wild chip it in. It's Greco chasing it. Austin has it outside the near circle in the Livonia end. Right back into the neutral zone. Rawhut trying to get to it. Now Graysdorf trying to fire it back deep into the Livonia zone. Puck into the near corner. Grabbed there by Livonia. Back into the neutral zone. Conti trying to get to it. Now Sofa outside the far circle of her own zone. Sofa trying to chip it away. Conti fires it, and that's a glove save by O'Connell. 4:35 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far between these two teams. Winner gets a slot in the state championship game. Loser season is over. Making it to the quarterfinals is no small feat. As Ava Atwood versus Knapp. Puck sent in along the near boards. Statham races back to get it in Livonia's zone. Statham from her own blue line gets it right back to the Wild blue line. Now picked up. Shipley trying to get to it. Statham feeds it down the far boards. Here comes racing ahead with his Knapp. Gains the zone. Top of the far circle. Shot there. O'Connell covers it up. Oh, right on the doorstep over there was Manasala, but O'Connell with a great save, and that faceoff will be in the near faceoff circle, or no, in the far faceoff circle. 4:13 left to go here in the first. Knapp again in there versus Ava Atwood on the far faceoff circle. That to O'Connell's right. Battle for it. Puck into the far corner. Now centering attempt got knocked down by McQuarrie. Fired from the far point by Livonia. Now Shipley has it. Shipley trying to get it into the slot. Puck loose. Manasala trying to get a shot away. Still loose. And now that comes all the way in along the far boards. Roberts trying to fire it back deep. As battle for that puck. Ava Atwood moves it. It's now go all the way down the ice. That'll be icing and head right back into the Walled Lake end. 3:45 left to go here in the first. Scoreless between these two squads. Face-off in the far face-off circle. If I remember rightly, neither of these teams scored in their first game of the playoffs. Hammond in taking the face-off versus Rawhut, covered up by O'Connell. They'll drop it again in the far face-off circle, Rawhut versus Hammond. Matt to O'Connell's right. That puck back into the neutral zone as it's a foot race. Greco trying to get it first. Greco has speed onto the near circle in Livonia, and Greco into the near corner. Now that shot beating it out in front was Rawhut, but pulled away. Here comes Livonia the other direction. Howe over center ice down the near boards. Howe into the Walled Lake zone. Howe coming over, shot there. Saved by O'Connell. Gathered up by McQuarrie down the near boards. Now Livonia trying to get that, comes right back into the neutral zone. Here comes McQuarrie. McQuarrie fires it deep into Livonia end. Back to get it is Larson. Larson goes back behind her own goal from the far side to the near side. Larson trying to avoid pressure by Greco. Now Esch gets it into the neutral zone. Esch over center ice. Esch trying to split a pair of defenders. That's sent right back into the neutral zone. Now Conti fires it back deep. Forrest has it on the far circle of her own zone. Forrest moves it down the near boards of the neutral zone. Howell trying to fire it right back in. That tipped down by Rawhut. That'll go right back into center ice. Now fed the other direction. Gaining the zone. Livonia shot. That just goes wide. Now Tim trying to pull it off of the near boards. Centering attempt. There's a shot and covered up by O'Connell. 2:25 left to go here in the first. Scoreless between these two squads. Ave Atwood in to take the face-off on one side, Knapp on the other. That's to O'Connell's left in the near face-off circle in the Walled Lake zone. Walled Lake in the black jerseys, Livonia in the white jerseys if you're just joining us. As Laz trying to pull it away. Walled Lake trying to move it ahead. Now it comes down the far boards, now tipped back. Laz trying to poke it in. Austin trying to move it the other direction. Sitting right at center ice, Shipley moves it ahead. Now Manasala has it. High slot, but Laz pulls it the other direction for Walled Lake. Puck grab by Henderson at the Livonia blue line. Henderson gets it ahead to Austin. Austin bringing ahead for Livonia. Chipped as that's fired all the way back deep into the far corner. Sofa picks it up there. Sofa goes back behind her own goalie from the far side to the near side, trying to move it around the near boards. Henderson with the top of the near circle. Henderson in the slot, shot there, steered into the far corner by O'Connell. Here comes Sofa. Sofa trying to breeze through traffic. Sofa over on blue line. Sofa cuts over center ice, comes over along the far board. Sofa leading scorer for the Wild as that's a shot and a save by Ferris. 1:24 left to go here in the first. Face-off back in the Livonia end. We will have a short intermission, very like a 2-minute intermission between these two squads. Between the first and second, we'll have a ice resurfacing between the second and the third. Face-off in the far face-off, circle Rawhut. Trying to get to that Hammond on the other side. As now be covered up by Ferris. 1:17 left to go here in the first. Face-off in the far face-off circle. As that pulled away, bringing it ahead into the neutral zone was Conti. Now Greco moving the other direction. Greco trying to bring it in. Hammond has it at her own blue line. Now here comes Otto over center ice. Backhanded back the other direction by Engel. Still battling in along the near boards. 1 minute left to go here in this, the first period. Scoreless so far as that won't get blown dead. I think it got caught on the back of the netting with 53.2 seconds left to go. Face-off in the near face-off circle. Again, that's going to be Hammond in there. Snap puck outside the near circle. Still trying to lever it off of there. Now it comes towards the goal, moved away. As bringing it the other direction is Engel. Engel gets it into the neutral zone. 40 seconds left to go here in the first. Down the near boards, Livonia gets it back into the neutral zone. Rawhut chasing it. Now Forrest trying to move it all the way across. Picked up by McQuarrie. McQuarrie fires it deep into the Livonia end. Gathered up by Roberts. 26 seconds left to go. Chipped. Pulled down. Bringing it ahead. Making a nifty move. Racing with it is Roberts over center ice. Roberts gains his own. 15 seconds left to go here in the first. Roberts underneath the far circle off the side of the net. Now underneath the near circle. Working her way is Engel. Engel trying to dig it off of the end boards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That will do it for the first. No scoring in the first, as it is 0-0 is our score. We will be right back as we'll play just a quick, let's find a nice one here. There we go. As Livonia comes back out, we'll pause that there. Get a little bit of the rink noise as they play the good old hockey game. 15 minutes up on the clock. Scoreless between these two squads. Second period, Ava Atwood trying to get to it. That fired into the zone, picked up by Sofa. Sofa moving it around, that backhanded all the way to the blue line. Now coming ahead with it. And moved in, working her way. There's a shot by Howell and covered up by O'Connell. Livonia going from right to left. Walled Lake going left to right here in this second period. 14:42 left to go here in the second. Face off in the far face off circle. And that's going to be Ava Atwood versus Hammond. There's a shot, top of the far circle, and a save by O'Connell. 14:37 left to go here in the second. Again, games happening in Rink 1, Rink 3, and Rink 5 here. First year having Division 3. As that puck back to the far point, blasted there by Howell. Now comes right back behind the goal, trying to move it around. Picked up by Johnson. Johnson trying to feed it down the near boards as they'll go back into the neutral zone. Howell has it at her own blue line. Howell making a move that chipped, trying to pull it back in by Manasala. Loose as they'll come right back into the neutral zone. Howell trying to steer through traffic. Howell into a high slot. Howell trying to make a nifty move. Shot from the far circle. O'Connell with a save. Comes back in along the end board. Sofa trying to poke it away. And that puck comes all the way back to the far point. Shot top of the far circle. That goes back behind the goal. Rimming all the way around. That'll head into the neutral zone. Again, Howell gathers it up down the near boards. Howell over center ice. Howell brings it into the Walled Lake end. Howell, high slot shot there. Good job by Sofa to deflect it. Puck back behind. Hammond has it, going from the near side to the far side. And along the near boards, Ava Atwood trying to get it out of the zone. Still poking away at it, Johnson. And they'll get back into the neutral zone. Otto trying to knock it away. Now here comes Conti. Conti backhands it deep for Livonia. They'll go all the way back. Rawhut has it underneath the near circle. Ahead to Johnson. Johnson, as that will be into the slot. Steered away by Sofa. Sofa blasts it. They'll go all the way down. That'll be icing, so we'll head right back over to our left into the Walled Lake end with 13:05 left to go. Face-off will be in the near face-off circle. That's to O'Connell's right. Knapp again in to take the face-off. Trying to see the official in the way for the other person. That was Raha. Puck. Knapp takes it back behind, puck into the far corner. Otto has it there. Otto trying to feed it out in front. Now comes outside the far circle. Otto trying a centering attempt that got caught in a Walled Lake skates. Now all the way back to the near point. Trying to hold it in there. As Henderson feeds it. Shot from the far circle. O'Connell with the save. That comes back to the blue line. Held in. Good job by Austin. That puck outside the near circle. And Walled Lake trying to move it out of the zone. Still loose outside the near circle now. Lifted down the boards into the neutral zone. Digging for it right in front of Livonia bench. Conti trying to fire it back in. Forrest moves it sharply down. Now here comes McQuarrie. McQuarrie gains Livonia zone. McQuarrie shot from the top of the far circle. That off the end boards. Picking it up in along the near boards. Racing around with it is Austin. Austin over the blue line. Now Greco trying to fire it right back in. Knapp in a foot race. McQuarrie trying to get to it. Now that goes all the way down into the Walled Lake zone. Engel trying to move it sharply to the Livonia blue line. McQuarrie fires it right back. That off of the end boards, off of the back of the goal. Greco trying to get to it. That comes in along the near boards and fired all the way into the Walled Lake end. Engel back to get to it. She'll have it outside the near circle. That puck tip. That'll go all the way down. Austin chasing it back in the Livonia zone. Austin has it underneath the far circle. Austin coming down the far boards. Ahead to Hammond. Hammond makes a move, tipped away. Hammond gets it back over center ice. Hammond works her way into the Walled Lake end. Hammond backhanded shot into the far corner. Forrest chases it there. Loose on the far circle. Still outside and along the far boards. They'll come into the neutral zone. Laz coming the other direction for Walled Lake. Laz trying to move it deep. There's a shot saved by Ferris as trying to fire it. It deflected as Ava Atwood trying to put it on net. Now come right back into the neutral zone. Here comes Manasala. Manasala coming over and along the far boards. Manasala shot there and saved by O'Connell. 10:52 left to go here in the second. Scoreless so far between these two squads. Face off in the far face-off circle. Hammond in to take the face-off versus Ava Atwood. That's O'Connell's left. Puck back to the far point. Statham holding it in. Now tip coming the other direction. That moved ahead by Graysdorf. Gaining the zone. Outside the far circle is Tim. And trying to poke it away is Roberts. Now Austin the other direction. Austin gets it into the neutral zone. Austin down the far side of the ice. Tipped away by Ava Atwood. Well, they'll slip back into the Walled Lake end. Tim trying to bring it ahead. Statham gets it into the Walled Lake zone, and that's steered in along the near boards of the neutral zone. Statham trying to move it. That comes onto the near circle of the Walled Lake zone. Here comes Sofa. Sofa has speed. Sofa tipped back. Good poke check picked up by Ava Atwood. She moves it ahead. Knocked down. Ava Atwood gets it back. Ava Atwood, top of the far circle. Ava Atwood shot there. Saved by Ferris. Statham fires it in along the far boards. Onto the far circle. They'll come all the way back into the neutral zone. Sofa back into her own end to get it. 9:55 left to go here in the second. Shot there. O'Connell saves it. They'll come in along the near boards. Sofa trying to pull that away. Knapp has it behind the goal. Firing it. They'll come all the way back to the far point. Held in there. Roberts trying to fire it back deep. Now Ava Atwood gets it into the neutral zone. Excuse me. That was Larson with it. Larson moves back behind her own goal from the far side and the near side. Larson coming down the near boards. Larson gets it over. Nifty move coming ahead by Knapp. Now tipped the other direction by Graysdorf. Gathering it up. Howell brings it into the Walled Lake zone. Howell outside the far circle. Howell feeds it. Trying to get to Conti. Wouldn't settle down. And backhanded down the near boards. Greco moves it ahead. And puck will slide back into Livonia end. Larson gathers it up in front of her own goal. Now goes back behind, trying to avoid pressure back there by Regunton. Gathered up Now here comes Manasala. Manasala into the Livonia zone. That pulled away. Poked from behind. Loose puck. High slot. Manasala with a shot that goes wide to the far side. Greco has it in the far corner. Greco backhands it. Turning with it. Manasala's shot there. As that puck will come all the way back. Held in, but now pulled again. McQuarrie has it over through the neutral zone. McQuarrie into Livonia zone. That poked away. Coming the other direction. Manasala. Manasala gains his own high slot. Manasala shot there, and a save by O'Connell. Sticks it in along the near boards. 8:24 left to go here in the second. Howell has the puck back behind, coming in front, and it slid, fired, and now get deflected in along the near boards. Greco has it, trying to move it ahead for Walled Lake. Greco over center ice down the near side, fires it in along the far boards, racing back to get to it. That poked away by McQuarrie. Quickly the other direction. It's a foot race. Manasala, that poked back to the blue line into the slot. Shipley trying to get a shot away, but Forrest making it difficult. Trying to keep it in. Manasala into the near corner of the Walled Lake end. 7:50 left to go here in the second. Scoreless so far. As Hammond battling back over to Forrest. Backhanded shot by Otto, that off the side of the net. Shipley trying to feed it out in front. And steered in along the near boards. Here comes Greco. Now saved and sent in by Austin. Now come out into the neutral zones. We have a 2-on-2. Bringing it is McQuarrie. McQuarrie gains his own. Now it's a 2-on-3 as McQuarrie onto the near circle. McQuarrie shot. That goes into the far corner. Ave Atwood trying to keep it in as that splits out into the neutral zone. And along the near boards as Engel trying to move it ahead. Right at the blue line, McQuarrie puts it back deep into the Livonia zone outside the far circle as we hit 7:05 left to go in the second. Engel lifts it up high into the neutral zone, gathered up as Knapp spinning with it. Knapp ricochets it off the far board. That goes all the way back deep. Icing the call. That'll go right back into Livonia zone with 6:53 left to go here in the second. Face-off will be in the near face-off circle. That is to the left of Ferris. O'Connell to our left, Ferris to our right. Ave Atwood in to take the face-off for Walled Lake. It's just the official on my way to see that other person is battling. That was Hammond as that puck right back behind. Austin trying to feed it. Still digging onto the near circle. Shot by Ave Atwood. Good save there by Ferris. Now the puck back behind. Roberts trying to move it down the far boards. Back into the neutral zone. Setting up is Regunton. Now lifted down the near boards. Tipped by Johnson. Hammond trying to get to it, but that brought in by Tim. Spinning with it. Ricocheted right back into the neutral zone. As that fed ahead by Engel. Brought into the zone by Ava Atwood, loosed in along the near boards. Larson trying to dig it out of there. Still battling in along the near boards. 6:09 left to go here in the second. Engel trying to pull that away. Still digging as that will come not out of the zone yet. Still trying to pull it away off of that near board as they're levering, poking. Now back into the neutral zone it goes. Esch had it. That's sent back over. Austin moves it down the far boards. That'll go all the way back deep. As picked up, icing waved off. As the puck right back behind. Shipley knocks it down. Ave Atwood trying to move it outside the near circle. Johnson trying to bring it ahead as Knapp trying to get a shot away. Puck onto the far circle. Backhanded shot by Esch. Now that comes in along the M boards. Forrest with it. Forrest sends it for a ride in along the near boards. 5:25 left to go here in the second. Now that puck, Knapp. Right off of Knapp. Moving ahead is Ave Atwood, centering attempt. Loose puck in the slot. Fired over. Tim trying to get it, but Knapp feeding it down the far boards. Forrest trying to get it out. Held in by Knapp. Still battling. Forrest trying to poke that away. Esch over there. Now Ave Atwood ricochets it off the far board, but held in at the far point. Still poking away to Shipley, high slot. Shipley poked off of the puck, trying to get a blast away, but ankle in front. Good save by O'Connell, puck in along the near boards. As it's 4:50 left to go here in the second. Ave Atwood moves it sharply down the near boards. That'll come. Held in. It's that puck in along the far boards. Now Forrest gets it into the neutral zone. Austin trying to move it the other direction. Engel has it on the far circle of her own zone. Engel trying to set up an attack Puck comes right back into Livonia end. Austin trying to get into the neutral zone. That was deflected back over there by Rawhut. Now they'll come down. That'll end up being a shot on goal. Saved by O'Connell as she covers it up. 4:16 left to go here in the second. Scoreless game so far. Face-off is going to be to O'Connell's left in the far face-off circle. Hammond in to take the face-off versus Rawhut. There's that puck, top of the far circle. Statham coming in to shoot. And O'Connell tipped it away. Puck outside the near circle, centering attempt. As that'll come all the way back, top of the far circle. McQuarrie trying to get to it. Statham on that far circle, trying to get a shot away. Statham, and that goes off of the end boards. Conti trying to pull that away. Back over Graysdorf trying to dig it out of there. Graysdorf pokes it in, but Conti gets the shot away. Covered up and gloved by O'Connell. 3:48 left to go here in the second. By the way, I want to thank our rookie camera operator, Shelly, who helped fill in for a sick individual here. We are a volunteer operation, so do our best to pull all of my good friends around. As that puck back outside the far circle, skips past Statham, coming in with this McQuarrie. McQuarrie, 2-on-1. McQuarrie has Greco to her left as that puck in along the end boards. Greco trying to dig it out of there. Now Hammond firing it all the way around, comes outside the far circle. And back into the neutral zone, picked up by Sofa. Sofa trying to fire it right back in as that puck will come into the near corner. Roberts has it there. Roberts back behind her own goal. Roberts underneath the far circle, deflects it ahead and poked down by Graysdorf. Shot there, save and steered away by Ferris. Puck underneath the near circle now. Roberts trying to go the other direction. Roberts trying to get around McQuarrie. As Knapp now gets it, but can't get it out of the zone. Held in, McQuarrie with it on the far circle, but that backhand away by Roberts. That is going to be a penalty upcoming, our first penalty of the game. That at 2:56, slashing the call. Livonia penalty, so it'll be 5-on-4. As that's Hammond into the box. So Walled Lake with the extra attacker for the next 2 minutes, barring anything else happening. 2:56 left to go here in the second. Loose puck on the far circle, picked up by Larson. Larson goes back behind her own goal from the far side and the near side. Larson feeds it around. Sofa looking to get it outside the near circle. Now pulled and fired all the way down the ice. That will be cleared, as that'll be stopped and moved in along the near boards by O'Connell. Sofa tips it back into the neutral zone. Now Knapp fires it into the zone. Sofa again feeding it down. Hammond racing ahead, but that'll be icing. That'll head right back into the Walled Lake zone. 1:32 left to go in the Walled Lake power play. 2:28 left to go here in the second. Scoreless so far. Ave Atwood in to take the face-off in that far face-off circle. That to O'Connell's left. Knapp on the other side. Puck in along the far boards. Knapp has it. Knapp trying to get a shot away. That got deflected, loose into the slot. Now Sofa moves it down the near boards, trying to get to Tim. There's a shot by Howell. That'll come all the way back into the neutral zone. I think that was Howell. Hard to see his Manasala. That was Manasala, sorry. A little scrunched up on the sweater there. That'll get cleared all the way back, now brought right back in. Sofa has it, top of the near circle, shot there. Ferris with the save. Knapp steers it into the far corner. 1:02 left to go here in the power play for Walled Lake. Knapp fired all the way down the ice. As Livonia on the power play, they can clear the puck. Sofa picks it up down the near boards of her own zone. Sofa feeds it, that tipped. Come all the way back, icing the call, as it was fired from the wrong side of center ice, so that'll come right back into the Walled Lake end. 45 seconds left to go here in the power play for Walled Lake. 1:40 left to go here in the second. Scoreless so far between these two teams. Shipley in to take the face off. On the other side is Rawhut. That puck in along the far boards. And deflected, top of the far circle. Now sent down the near boards. Now come into Livonia zone. Henderson back to get to it. Icing waved off. 30 seconds left in the power play. Fed back to the blue line. Held in by Rawhud. Shot there as that hopped over Austin's stick, but Austin gets it to the far point. Rawhud again, firing it in loosely along the near circles. That's Otto who gets it all the way down the ice. 15 seconds left to go in the power play. 1:09 left to go here in the second, scoreless so far. Puck in along the near boards as Shipley trying to dig it out of the near corner. Now brought the other direction by Engel. Engel trying to move it. That comes right back in along the M boards. Still digging. Coming ahead with it is Sofa. Sofa over on blue line. Sofa gets over center ice. Sofa over the blue line into the zone. Sofa with a shot. Barris with a save. Another centering attempt out in front. As covering it up is Barris. Getting a glove on it. Face off in the near face off circle as that tipped to Ferris's left. And right there, Waldek trying to get a stick on it, but Ferris able to glove it. 40.9 seconds left to go here in the second. Defensive battle and great goaltending as a scoreless so far. Abe Atwood in to take the face off. And a battle. Is that puck? Right, top of the far circle. Backhanded shot, loose as that comes in along the end boards. Howell has it there, Howell. Underneath the near circle, Howell coming down the near boards. That'll be moved ahead. Howell makes a move, high slot, Howell coming in. Shot goes into the far corner, deflected. Ave Atwood trying to knock it down. Puck onto the near circle, steered, top of the near circle. There's Conti with a shot and a glove save by O'Connell. 10.5 left to go. 10 and a half seconds left here in the second. Face off in the near face off circle. And we will have a longer intermission here between the second and third period as they will resurface the ice. That comes back, high slot, backhanded shot, deflected out in front, moved down the far boards, 5 seconds, 4, as that puck sent back to the far point, held in, 1 second, and that will do it. As the lone item on the score sheet at 2:56, it was the Livonia penalty to Hammond for slashing, but that's it as we'll head into the third. Scoreless here. Winner gets to play on. Winner gets to come in and play on Saturday for the Division II title, and the losers' season is over. Let's come in and play a little bit of music, and we will be back for your third period. As the ice has been resurfaced, the officials getting the nets put back on their moorings. Walled Lake comes out. So we'll have 15 minutes up on the clock. One more period of regulation here. Walled Lake will be going right to left, Livonia left to right here in this third period. As both squads getting warmed up. And then we will have the third period. Again, great crowd here. We appreciate everyone showing up. As we have one more game in each of the rinks today, one in 8 o'clock game in rink 3 and rink 5, and a 8:15 game here in rink 1. The officials over talking to the folks at the scoreboard. They'll pop that period up as it still says 2, and we'll get going here. There's the whistle. Again, Livonia going left to right, Walled Lake going right to left. Ferris down to our left. O'Connell will be heading to our right. Knapp in to take the face-off for Livonia. 15 minutes up on the clock. There goes O'Connell. Down to our right. Rahat on the other side to take the face-off. We are under play. That puck comes into Livonia's zone. In along the M boards, back to get to it. That fired all the way around the near boards, trying to get it ahead to Otto. Otto trying to pull it out of there. Still battling as Howell trying to move it ahead. Puck into the near corner. Centering attempt as that pulled away down the near boards and fired all the way down the ice. Gathered up by Sofa at her own blue line. Sofa trying to weave her way through traffic as Otto trying to knock that away. Sofa gains its own. There's a shot that ricochets off the M board. Greco has it outside the near circle, trying to bring it away. Still digging with it. Puck in along the M boards. McQuarrie trying to pull that back. Now Greco, puck outside the near circle. Still digging. That comes back, and now bringing it is Conti. Conti gains the Walled Lake zone. Conti onto the near circle. Shot there. Saved by O'Connell. Comes in along the far boards. And we are a minute gone here in the third. Icing called, so they'll go right back into the Walled Lake zone. 13:59 left to go here in the third. Face-off in the far face-off circle. That to O'Connell's right. Hammond in to take the face-off versus Ava Atwood. Shipley trying to fire that puck as they'll come in along the far boards. Now racing the other direction. Here comes Laz. Laz feeds it. They'll go deep into the Livonia zone. Roberts gathers it in along the near boards. Roberts trying to move it ahead. As held in, back in along the M boards. Now Austin back to get to it, trying to avoid pressure by Tim. Laz trying to pull that away. As still battling outside the near circle. 13:29 left to go. Now right to the blue line. Chipped and now go back into the neutral zone. Bringing the puck ahead. Manasala gets a shot away. O'Connell moves that outside the far circle. Shipley trying to put it back deep. Now Forrest trying to bring it the other direction. That whacked by Roberts. They'll come in along the M boards. Forrest from the far side comes back in along the near side. Manasala trying to pull that away. Tim outside the near circle. Still digging. That'll get fired all the way down. Roberts has it in along the far boards. Roberts gains back the zone. Knocked down onto the slot by Engel. They'll come in along the near board. Sorry. A little frog in my throat there. As that puck battle forward right to the Livonia blue line. Now move back. Forrest has it in the Walled Lake zone. Forrest ricochets it off the far board. Ava Atwood trying to put it back deep, but Otto brings it in. Now that's sent the other direction. Loose, steered in along the near boards by Greco, trying to poke it ahead there as Livonia goes for a line change. That puck will come right back behind the goal. Now Engel ricochets it off the near board back into the neutral zone. Trying to get over to Conti. That knocked down. McQuarrie brings it in. That knocked away. Good defense by Knapp. And puck right at center ice. Fed ahead. Conti trying to race back to get it, but that pull back behind. And underneath, ricochets it off the near board. Then puck back into the neutral zone. Howell fires it right back in. It's 11:56 left to go here in the third. Now in goal. Sends it all the way down the ice. Icing waved off. Howell has it. Howell moves it over on blue line. Howell over to center ice. Howell gets ahead of steam. Howell outside the near circle. Howell trying to feed it in front. That got poked around. Still loose. Backhanded shot. That moved all the way. Knapp has it high slot. Shot there. And a save by O'Connell. 11:28 left to go here in the third. Face-off in the near face-off circle. That's to O'Connell's left. Hammond in to take the face-off versus Ava Atwood. 11:28 left to go as Roberts feeds it in along the end boards. Ava Atwood trying to get to it. Hammond trying to pull that back the other direction. As that puck will come back to the far point. Austin trying to hold it there. Backhands it deep. Hammond racing back to get to it. Sofa trying to knock that away the other direction. Sofa knocks the puck off the glass to the blue line, but held in by Austin. Shot there, just goes wide to the far side. Gathered up, trying to fire it ahead is Manasala. Still battling, trying to dig that away. Now brought the other direction back over there by Regenton. Now Austin still trying to hold it in, working hard at that blue line. As that'll be fired all the way back. Roberts has it at her own blue line and moves it the other direction. Intercepted by Sofa. Sofa gains the Livonia zone. Sofa, top of the far circle. Shot there, as that's a blocker saved by Ferris. That'll come in along the near boards. Another shot just goes wide. Johnson races to get to it. As that'll go just wide and along the near boards. Battleford down the near board, still trying to dig that away. And it'll come all the way down. Shipley has it as it ricochets off the far board. Shipley sends it deep into the Walled Lake zone. Ava Atwood rims it along the far boards. And moved right to the blue line, but held in. Feeding it into the near corner is Otto. Otto centering attempt, that off the side of the net. Moved back behind. Now spinning with it, Otto again trying to fire it out in front. Backhanded shot, loose, firing it as another shot that goes back behind. Sofa underneath the near circle, ricochets off the board. Howe holds it in at the near point. That'll go right back behind the goal as Graysdorf trying to rim it all the way around. Again, Howe holds it in and puts it, bouncing puck into the slot. Moving outside the far circle, 9:30 left to go to the far point. Shot there. Oh, just missed it. As it was a puck that wouldn't settle down, as that was Otto right on the near side of the goal. Delayed off sides as Livonia has to touch up. 9:15 left to go here in the third. That puck. Sofa brings it into the Livonia end, trying to move it over to Greco. Greco underneath the near circle. That knocked down, covered up by Ferris. 9:04 left to go here in the third. Face-off will be in the near face-off circle. That to Ferris's right. Still scoreless between these two teams. Hammond and Rawhut in the near face-off circle. So that puck will come all the way around. McQuarrie trying to get to it. And Rawhut trying to get to it. That's sent back. Now trying to bring it in. Collision there. There's going to be a penalty upcoming as Forrest touches it. And Livonia will have their first power play, as I believe that's going to be a tripping call here in the third at 8. Yep, tripping, 8:47. That will be a Walled Lake penalty for a trip. So Livonia will have the extra attacker as Engel goes into the box. It's Livonia's first power play. Walled Lake has had one. Hammond versus Ave Atwood in the far face-off circle. Larson has it, top of the far circle, shot there. Deflected, couldn't get all the way through. Puck right back behind the goal. Now Sofa trying to pull it in along the near boards. As that up all the way. Boy, that came all the way up to the folks right near us. I don't think anyone had an issue. That thrown, good chuck by that gentleman right to the official. Good arm. I would have probably missed and thrown it into the bench. This is why I'm on a mic and nowhere near a pair of skates, but that's okay. Face off in the near face-off circle. Again, it's Hammond in to take the face-off versus Rawhut. 1:46 left to go in the Livonia power play. And puck, Howell has it. Howell fires it. Saved by O'Connell. Puck comes outside the far circle and blasted, cleared all the way back deep. That'll come off the dasher over to Howell. Howell will bring it down the near boards, trying to avoid pressure by Gecko. Howell gets ahead of steam over on blue line over center ice. Howell gains the Walled Lake zone. Howell onto the near circle. Poke checked away as that puck will come right back into the neutral zone. Racing ahead to get it. Ava Atwood into Livonia zone. Walled Lake would love a shorthanded goal. That either of these teams would love a goal no matter what. Graysdorf has it right at center ice. Graysdorf lifts it high into the zone, puts it into the far corner. 1:05 left to go in the power play. Livonia looking to set up. That ricochets off the near board. That'll go all the way back into the wild end. Icing waved off. Sofa picks it up back behind her own goal. Sofa ricochets it. Ran right to center ice. Knocked down there by Howell. Howell comes down the far boards. Howell into the Walled Lake zone. Howell. High slot shot there, goes just wide to the far side, picked up by Hammond. Hammond trying to get a shot away, and steered out in front off the side of the net. And another shot by Shipley, bouncing puck. Oh, is that a good save by O'Connell? As that puck will come back over. Outside the far circle it goes. Conti trying to dig it out of there versus Ava Atwood, as they'll be covered up. .21 seconds left to go here in the power play for Livonia. Puck onto the far circle, Shipley with it. That comes right back. Sticked away and along the end boards. Forrest trying to get to it there. Still battling in along the end boards as a quartet of, or a trio of players with it. Steered back. Forrest has it outside the far circle, held in by Austin. That shot just goes wide. Underneath that far circle, right through the slot that comes in along the near board. 6:43 left to go. Back to full strength is Walled Lake. Puck back to the far point, trying to hold it in. Back into the neutral zone, bouncing puck right to the Walled Lake blue line. Now turning with it is Otto. Otto trying to fire it back deep. Puck right back behind Graysdorf with it. Graysdorf ricochets it off the glass. Now get back into the neutral zone, all the way back into the Livonia end. Roberts has it there. Roberts trying to avoid pressure by Johnson and Laz. Roberts over center ice. Now brought in by Knapp. Knapp has it poked away from behind. And that fired all the way around. Bringing it in is Tim. Tim, top of the far circle. Tim poked off of that puck. Now trying to get to it. Johnson covered up by Ferris. 5:56 left to go here in the third. Hey, face-off in the near face-off circle. Rawhut. Face-off into the near corner. Livonia trying to move it around. 5:55 left to go here in the third. Still trying to dig it ahead. Larson gets it into the neutral zone. Monticello trying to move it over. Conti trying to bring it into the zone. As that fired. Deflects right off the dasher. Loose onto the far circle. As that shot covered up by O'Connell. 5:33 left to go here in the third. Face-off will be in the near face-off circle. That to O'Connell's left. Hammond takes the face-off back to the near point. Howell trying to fire it ahead. That deflects back into the neutral zone. Greco trying to get to it. Greco has speed. Puck right along the near boards. Livonia trying to bring it in as that was Manasala. Now here comes Greco. Greco into Livonia's zone out to the near circle. Greco has that off the side of the net. Howell has it in the far corner. Howell bringing it ahead. And Livonia United won both games in the regular season, but that means nothing in the playoffs as Howell with a shot then steered by O'Connell in along the far boards. Howell has it into the far corner, poked off the puck. Hammond trying to get to it. That back into the neutral zone. Here comes a breakaway. Racing at is McQuarrie. McQuarrie trying to get to it. Monticello did a good job to get back. McQuarrie's shot. That goes high as that puck in along the near boards. 4:45 left to go here in the third. Now racing ahead the other direction. Bringing it in. Conti trying to get it over to Hammond. Sofa has it on that far circle. Back behind her own goal. Underneath the near circle. Sofa racing ahead over own blue line. Sofa over center ice. Sofa trying to bring it into the zone. As Otto trying to poke check that away. Backhanded shot steered by Ferris. Back behind her own goal. Ava Atwood into the far corner. Ava Atwood loose onto the far circle. And it's sent to the blue line. Here comes Shipley. Shipley the other direction. 2-on-2. Shipley gains the zone. Good job to knock that away by Graysdorf. Puck off the side of the net now, coming in along the near boards. Trying to move it ahead is Sofa, loose, top of the near circle. That'll go back into the neutral zone. Austin trying to steer that away. Now Tim right at the blue line. Held in by Ava Atwood. Grabbed as Waldlake avoiding a delayed offsides as Laz trying to bring it in. That puck will come outside the near circle with it. Otto trying to move it ahead. Now Forrest has it at her own blue line. 3:40 left to go over center. Forrest gains his own. Forrest shot deflected. That'll go in along the end boards. Roberts looking for it. And it's sent all the way back and along the near boards of the neutral zone. Engel with it. As that'll come right along, trying to pick it up. Livonia trying to steer it in. As that'll get brought in and a whistle. As that will be icing. That'll bring it right back into Livonia, and 3:17 left to go here in the third. Face-off in the far face-off circle. That is the Ferris's left. 3:17 in regulation here. Knapp versus Rawhud in that far face-off circle. Shot there, covered up by Ferris. We'll do it again in the far circle. 3:14 left to go here in the third. As Knapp trying to get that in along the far boards, trying to feed it back deep is McQuarrie. Comes right back behind the Livonia goal in along the near boards as 3 minutes left in regulation now. Puck into the neutral zone, gathered up there, trying to bring it right back in is McQuarrie. McQuarrie backhands it, that's steered away by Larson. Larson underneath the near circle, off the boards, trying to get it out of the zone. Battle for it in along the near boards, Livonia end. Still trying to dig it. Now Larson gets it into the neutral zone, trying to avoid Forrest. Ricochets off the far boards, but Forrest pokes it back. Knapp has it at her own blue line. Again, poked away there, that time by Rawhud. Now Howell trying to move it ahead. Rawhud trying to fire right back to the blue line. And poked away from Greco. And fired all the way down the ice. That'll be icing. They'll head right back into Livonia end over to our left. Face off on the far face-off circle. 2:18 left to go in regulation here in the third period. As battle for it on the far circle, held in by Tim. Tim moves it in along the far boards. Ava Atwood swings it all the way around. And puck outside the near circle. Gathered up there, trying to weave through traffic is Otto. Otto over at center ice. Otto gains the zone. Trying to chip it away back over there. Ava Atwood. Otto back behind the goal underneath the near circle. Otto. Now that puck in along the near boards. Still battling as that will go right back in along the end boards. Otto trying to get to it. Sofa feeds it ahead as that puck. Here comes Tim. Now Johnson has it. Johnson feeds it deep into Livonia end. 1:33 left to go here in the third. Is trying to pull that puck away. Ava Atwood digging in along the end boards. Now Statham fires it all the way back. Raysdorf holds it in at the near point. Knocked down out in front, into the far corner. Johnson races to get it. Now Austin down the far boards for Livonia. 1:15 left to go here in regulation. Austin over at center ice. Austin fires it as that knocked in along the near boards. Picked up by Sofa, back behind her own goal. Sofa trying to dig it away. Still, that comes all the way back into the neutral zone. Knapp collects it at center ice. Knapp over to Howe. 57 seconds left in regulation. Howe brings it into the neutral zone. And it'll get pulled. Monticello trying to get to it. Right back, pulled in. Here comes Greco. Greco on the near circle. Shot. Oh, good save by Ferris into the far corner. Greco trying to dig it out of there. 40 seconds left to go in regulation. Knocked away by Monticello. Still loose on that far circle. Now bringing it ahead. Here comes Howe. 31 seconds left to go. Howe with a shot that goes just wide to the far side. Shipley with the shot. That knocked down by O'Connell. Loose. Howe has it, firing it. Poked away by O'Connell again. Shipley into the far corner. That pulled back by Johnson. Johnson trying to steer it out of the zone. Loose. Now Greco trying to get to it, but grabbed by Howe. Howe on the far circle. 12 seconds left to go. Howe coming in. Shot there. O'Connell is covered up. 8.5 seconds left to go in regulation. What a game. Scoreless so far. As it looks like we are headed to overtime. Timeout called. I think Livonia wants to talk it over. So they want to try and get the most out of this 8.5. Then we will go to overtime. I am not positive as of the playoff overtime structure, so we'll quickly figure that out. That's the problem with broadcasting too in these sports. And we do Michigan ACHA women's hockey. I know it's 3-on-3, and this, of course, playoff hockey. The winner advances. The loser's season is ended. Face-off will be in the far face-off circle. That's O'Connell's right. Well, both goalkeepers have been amazing. The defenses have been stout. There have been shot attempts. But it is still scoreless between these two squads. Both coaching staffs trying to make sure that their players know exactly what they want them to do. Now O'Connell comes out. And the question is, will Livonia pull their goalie so they have an extra attacker to try and get it, since the faceoff is all the way down in the far faceoff circle? They will not. They keep Ferris in there because last thing you want to do is give up an empty net goal for them to advance. Ava Atwood in there versus Conti. That puck lifted back into the neutral zone as we head towards overtime. We will head into overtime here between Livonia United and Walled Lake. It should be golden goal format, which means first goal wins. What a game so far. We'll have an ice resurfacing here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
As I'm going to play a little bit of music, and then we will. I'm going to try and push back our next game in case we run into that. as the nets are put back on their mooring as we are headed into overtime. As both squads getting out there, skating around. But completely resurfaced ice. 8 minutes up on the clock for the overtime period. Golden goal, meaning first goal decides the victor. As I'm not sure if they're going to switch directions. I would imagine it'd be Livonia to the right, going right to left, and Walled Lake going left to right. I believe that's what will happen. And it's going to be 3-on-3 hockey. So out there for Livonia is Conti, Knapp, and Otto. And it is Livonia going right to left, Walled Lake going left to right. Sofa, Graysdorf, no, it's going to be 5-on-5. Forgive me. 5-on-5 hockey. This makes people happy. They don't want a 3-on-3 deciding a tournament. As that comes out, in along the far boards, McQuarrie with it. McQuarrie trying to bring it ahead. That knocked down and fired all the way back deep. That'll deflect off the far board. Picking it up is Sofa. Whistle, and that is going to be a roughing call, or a slashing call, excuse me. McQuarrie into the box. So McQuarrie into the box. Livonia with the power play opportunity. Sudden victory on the line. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Knapp in to take the face-off versus Abe Atwood. That puck outside the far circle. Knapp trying to dig it out in front. That backhanded all the way to the blue line. Held in there by Larson. Poked away. Here comes Greco the other direction. Greco trying to split a pair of defenders. That poked away. Larson heads the other direction. Larson trying to get past Dave Atwood. She poke checks that back. Bringing it in over to Conti. Conti gains his own down the near boards. That puck into the near corner. Racing back to get it is Sofa. In along the end board. Sofa clears it all the way down the ice. 1:30 left to go here in the power play. 7:08 left to go in the overtime period. Greco knocking it down loose as bringing it ahead. Here comes Livonia. Gaining the zone. Shot there. Just goes wide to the near side. Conti outside the near circle. Puck top coming ahead is Sofa. Sofa gets it into the neutral zone. Sofa over center ice. Sofa gains his zone. Yes, don't stand on it. Coming back in along the near boards. Is that picked up? Right at the blue line. Austin has it. Austin racing ahead with it. Fired down the far boards. Loose, backhanded. Now come back into the neutral zone. Austin with it. Austin chips it. Now go back into Livonia zone. 33 seconds left to go. As icing called, they'll come back into Livonia end. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Laz in to take the face-off. Hammond on the other side. 31 seconds left on the power play for Livonia. That puck brought back behind. Austin trying to bring it down the near boards. Pin there. Johnson in trying to dig it away. That back into the neutral zone. Here comes Monasala. Monasala one-on-one. Monasala shot. That deflects into the far corner. Racing back. Pull back to get to it. Into the near corner it goes. Hammond trying to pull that away. Bouncing puck. Steered to the blue line. Held in there by Roberts. That will come out of the zone. Livonia will have to touch back up as the penalty has expired. Back to full strength. Puck in along the near boards. Austin racing ahead with it. Battle for it at the blue line. Engel trying to pop that away. Still loose. Fired back deep into the Walled Lake zone. Forrest has it in along the end boards. Forrest trying to feed it. That coming ahead with it. Otto has it into the neutral zone over to Roberts. Roberts, their own blue line. Roberts down the near boards. That brought into the Wall Lake end. Shipley chasing it. Engel backhands it in along the far boards. McQuarrie trying to get out of the zone. McQuarrie over own blue line. McQuarrie over center ice. McQuarrie gains Livonia zone. As offside the call. 5:01 left to go here in the fourth. So that faceoff will be in the near faceoff circle just outside of the Livonia zone. Brought in, fired into the far corner as that brought in by Rahat. Taken in along the near boards. Now Livonia trying to bring it into the neutral zone, coming ahead with it. Here comes Howell, high slot, Howell, shot that just goes wide to the far side. Brought back into the neutral zone, all the way back deep into Livonia end. Icing the call, they'll come back into the Walled Lake zone over to our left. 4:34 left to go here in the first overtime period. Face off in the near face off circle. That's O'Connell's left. Knapp in to take the face off. Ava Atwood on the other side. Chipped and fired all the way down the ice. That will end up being a shot on goal. Ferris stops it there. Back to get to it is Larson. Larson goes back behind her own goal. Larson coming down the far boards, trying to avoid Tim. That puck slides ahead to Conti. Conti coming in and gains his own. Conti shot. That deflected off a sofa into the far corner. Raisdorf trying to move it ahead as that puck will slip back to the far point. Howell holds it in as loose on the far circle. That back into the neutral zone as Livonia has to touch up to avoid a offside call. Now Ava Atwood down the near boards. Ava Atwood, the puck tipped. They'll go all the way back. No icing. Howell has it in along the end boards. 3:48 left to go here in the first overtime period. Hammond trying to move it ahead. Now bringing it in. Hammond trying to get a shot away as Sofa knocks it down. Still loose in along the far boards. Puck will come all the way back and in along the end boards. Larson has it from the far side to the near side. Laz trying to dig it off of the near boards. It'll be a shame whoever loses this game. Both teams have played so well. Great defense, great goaltending. As that puck into the slot, moved away by Howell. Howell trying to get past Laz. Howell into the neutral zone. 3:13 left to go here in the first overtime period. That puck over Walled Lake. Sends it down into Livonia zone. Hammond racing back to get to it. Hammond moving through the slot, coming down the far boards. That fired back deep. Indeed, that's Hammond. Puck in along, swept back. Now here comes McQuarrie. McQuarrie trying to start the rush the other direction. Over to Greco, tips off of Greco's stick. Roberts the other direction. Roberts trying to move it into the Walled Lake end. That moved right back into the neutral zone. Chip there. Brought in along the end boards. As that's moved away by Engel. Engel ricochets it off the near board. As that puck right to center ice. Knapp brings it in. Knapp firing it. Good save by O'Connell. Comes off in along the near boards. Otto trying to dig it off of the near boards. Otto right out in front. Tipped away by Shipley and a save by O'Connell. O'Connell keeps the game going as it is scoreless so far. Next goal wins. 2:18 left to go in the first overtime period. Both of these teams playing lights out hockey. Conti in to take the face off. I believe that's Rahad on the other side. Puck into the near corner. Grab. Knapp trying to feed it out in front. That puck in along the near boards. Greco trying to get to it. Roberts puts a bouncing puck onto the near circle. Into the slot that pulled away. Coming down the near boards is Forrest. Forrest trying to squeeze it out of the zone. Puck still battled in along the near boards. Now that shot ahead. Here comes McQuarrie. McQuarrie avoiding pressure. McQuarrie 2-on-3 gains the zone. McQuarrie firing it as that's knocked into the near corner by Ferris. As Greco trying to feed it out in front. That comes all the way in along the far boards. Now bringing it ahead. Here comes Manasala. Manasala into the zone. Shot goes into the near corner. 1:36 left to go here in the first overtime period. Now bringing ahead is Greco. Tipped the other direction by Austin. Moving it ahead is Engel. Right to the Livonia blue line. 1:23 left to go here in the first overtime period. Forrest back to get to it. Shipley trying to dig it out of the far corner. Now Engel trying to pull it around. That fired all the way around the near boards. Greco trying to peel it off of the near boards. Coming in, Howe with it. Howe onto the near circle. Now here comes a 2-on-1. Engel trying to get into the zone. Spins with it. Howe, good job coming back as that's tipped, fired back deep by Ava Atwood. Now come in along the end boards. Austin with it there. Austin steers it around the far board. Shipley with it. 49 seconds left to go here in the first overtime period. Now still trying to big the puck in. Walled Lake has it. And fed into the neutral zone, intercepted by Howe. 36 seconds left in this first overtime period. Outside the near circle, Howe with it. Howe in along the end boards, trying to backhand it in front. Now Otto chases over outside the far circle. Has Knapp in the slot, but that deflected away. Coming the other direction, Tim trying to get it out of the zone. Now picked up by Ava Atwood, top of the far circle. Ava Atwood steers it into the neutral zone. Larson goes back to get to it. 15 seconds left to go in the first overtime period. Larson back behind her own goal. Larson ricochets it off the near board. Shipley trying to bring it ahead. 6 seconds left in the first overtime period. Puck in along the end boards. Howe with it there. And that will do it for the first overtime period. Nothing decided here as of yet. We'll go to a second overtime period. What plays by both of these goalkeepers in their defense in a tight spot there, being able to make those saves with the season on the line, with the spot to the state championship on the line. It doesn't get any better than this, folks. These two fan bases are eating it up. This is what the state playoffs are all about. It's about minute 30. They're not going to resurface the ice this time. It'll be a short intermission. Officials over talking over to the scorer's table. One minute and counting here. Again, state championship games will start at noon with the D3 state championship game on Saturday. One of these teams will be there. The other one may be watching at home. Walled Lake comes out onto the ice. Here comes Livonia United. Now going the opposite direction. Livonia United going left to right. Walled Lake going right to left. Both of the fan bases urging their team forward as it's Rod versus Knapp in to take the face-off. Still scoreless. Next goal wins. I'm so grateful for all of you watching this excitement. We still got another game after this. As that puck back over to Austin. Austin coming down the near boards, bouncing puck. Trying to bring it in is McQuarrie. McQuarrie. And puck steered away by Ferris into the near corner. Roberts trying to dig it out of there. Get Greco back there as well. Now puck into the far corner. That goes off the side of the net. Picked up. Coming down the near boards. I think that's Howell who moves it into the neutral zone. Otto has it, trying to steer it the other direction. Picked up. Sofa has it. Sofa moves it down the far boards. Sofa trying to get around Otto. As that'll be grabbed by Roberts. Roberts flips it the other direction, trying to get to Hammond. Hammond works through traffic. Hammond shot there is O'Connell. That goes just to the near side, into the near corner. 7:15 left to go here in this, the second overtime. battle for it in along the end boards as that pull back away. Otto moves it. That'll come outside the near circle. Knapp trying to get to it. Now Hammond trying to dig it off of the boards. Austin trying to hold it in. Now go all the way back into Livonia zone. Picked up by Roberts. Roberts coming down the far boards. Tim flips it over. Now grabbed in along the near boards. Austin skating through traffic. Austin coming in with it. Austin poke checked away. Good defensive play by Walled Lake as the puck in along the near boards. Hammond trying to knock it away. Into the far corner. Engel trying to pull it out of the zone. Puck held in at the far point by Austin. Now poke back into the neutral zone. Livonia has to set up. That deflects. Loose in along the near boards. Now fired down the near boards. Howell trying to feed it as that'll come right back in. Engel has it outside the near circle. 6:12 left to go here in the second overtime. Howell again bringing it in. Howell, top of the near circle, shot there. Glove saved by O'Connell. 6:03 left to go here. So 6:02 left to go. That puck back to the near point. Al trying to fire it as Al coming along the end boards into the near corner. Graysdorf trying to dig it out of there. Al again with a bouncing puck that steered in along the end boards by O'Connell. Brought all the way around. Larson holds it in. Larson trying to dig it off of the boards. Now Sofa trying to feed it out. Still outside that far circle. Now picked up. Shot there. Goes just wide into the near corner. 5:32 left to go here in the second overtime. No scoring thus far, but don't tell me it hasn't been a very exciting game. Laz moves it down the far boards, racing back to get it. Into Livonia end. Larson picks it up. Larson back behind her own goal, coming down the near boards. Larson trying to feed it ahead as now Tim has it in along the end boards. Now Howell down the far side of the ice. Howell over the blue line. Howell over center ice. That poked over but brought in by Manasala. Deflected, steered by O'Connell outside the far circle. Shipley trying to get to it. That right back into the neutral zone. Under 5 minutes left to go here in the second overtime. Grabbed by Sofa. Sofa over on blue line. Sofa over center ice. Sofa leading scorer as that shot comes back in along into the near corner. Face-off in the near face-off circle as everyone's standing, so I can't see who's there. Puck into the near corner, trying to pull that away. Still digging out of it. As now that puck in along the far boards. Otto trying to bring it ahead. Otto can't get it out of the zone. Now that fired down. Gathered up by Engel. Engel down the near boards of the neutral zone ahead for Walled Lake. Here comes Greco. Greco into the zone. Greco onto the near circle and fired back into Walled Lake, and now be icing and come right back into Livonia zone. 4:15 left to go here in the second overtime. Face-off in the far face-off circle. It'll be a shame. Neither of these teams deserves to lose. They both deserve to win, but someone has to advance. As Hammond trying to win it back, grab, shot by Graysdorf, that just goes wide to the far side. As trying to get to it back over there was Raw. Now here comes Livonia as Conti gains his own. Conti shot from the far circle. That one just goes wide to the near side, into the near corner. Manasala with it. Now rims all the way around. Roberts trying to hold it in. Puck loose in along those far boards. Roberts again trying to get to it. That'll come back into the neutral zone. Greco with it down the near boards. Greco trying to move it ahead. 3:43 left to go. And still trying to dig it out of there. Puck into the near corner. Greco trying to steer it as that bounces off of the far board. McQuarrie trying to pull that away back to the far point. Held in there. Shot by Sofa. That'll go wide to the near side. All the way in along the near boards. Outside the near circle, they'll come all the way across. Hammond in along the far boards. Top of the far circle, now here comes, coming ahead with it, Hammond. Hammond gains the zone, Hammond moves it over, trying to get to Manasala. That comes back out into the neutral zone. Johnson had it. Now steering with it is Manasala. Picked up. Larson trying to feed it into the zone. Tim has it in along the near boards. Tim trying to fire it back. Conti trying to dig it out of there. Now Roberts right at the blue line. Here comes Sofa. Sofa making a move over center ice. Sofa gaining the zone. Shot there. Steered away by Ferris. Now Howell brings it back behind her own goal. 2:40 left to go. Howell bringing it, trying to get it out of the zone. Howell down the near boards. Howell into the Walled Lake zone. That'll come right back behind the goal. O'Connell steers it behind. Sofa has it underneath the near circle. Deflects back. Otto with it, top of the near circle, into the slot. That's knocked away, back to the far point. Trying to bring it back. Fired by Eva Atwood. They'll come all the way back into Livonia, and Howell back to get to it. Icing waved off. Howell has it in the far corner. 2:10 left to go. Howell coming ahead with it. Over her own blue line. Howell over center ice. Howell taking a shot that got deflected. Johnson into the far corner, picked up there by Rawhut. Rawhut trying to move it ahead. Here comes Tim, one-on-one. Hook checked away down the near boards. Rawhut bringing it ahead. Battle for it. Still battling in along the near boards. That heads back into the Walled Lake end with 1:45 left to go here in the second overtime. Engel has it on the far circle. Engel coming down the far boards into the neutral zone. Poked down, now gathered up. Here comes Forrest over center ice. Forrest trying to fire it back deep. That puck into the far corner. McQuarrie trying to pull that away. Roberts sends it back to the far point. Chipped ahead. And trying to knock it back the other direction. Puck loose in the neutral zone. Sent in, but Walled Lake moves it ahead. Greco trying to pull that away. Backhanded by Austin. Picked up by Forrest. Austin has it again. Now coming in Greco with it. Greco trying to get a shot away. That bounces into the slot. 1:05 left to go here in the second overtime. That puck will go all the way into the far corner. Icing called. 59 seconds left. They'll go back into Livonia. We are 59 seconds away of having played 5 periods of hockey. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Dave Atwood versus Hammond in that far face-off circle. Puck loose in along the end boards. Grab by Roberts. If you're looking to tune in to the greater the Flint game versus Grosse Pointe South, we have an overtime game here. The first game has gone into overtime. Sofa has it in along the end boards, feeding it down the far boards, held in back there by Roberts. Outside the far circle, Tim has it. Tim steers it ahead all the way back into Livonia. 32 seconds left. That'll be icing. Right back into the Walled Lake zone. Face off in the near face off circle. That to O'Connell's left. Hammond in. Versus, I believe that's Ava Atwood. These players have to be exhausted out there. Puck brought ahead. Ava Atwood steers it all the way down into Livonia. Racing back to get it. Ava Atwood trying to get to it first. Puck into the near corner. As Howell picks it up back behind her own goal. Howell coming down the far boards. 15 seconds left to go in the second overtime. Howell gains the zone. Howell shot deflected. 9 seconds left. Shipley into the near corner. Shipley trying to send it across. Puck into the far corner. Conti trying to feed it in front. And that will do it for the second overtime period. We head to a third overtime period. They're going to resurface the ice. We'll step away and play a little music. You are watching Michigan Girls High School Hockey League playoffs, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. It's still scoreless headed into a third overtime between Walled Lake and Livonia. as we are coming back here for overtime number 3, as both of these teams skating out. Winner, next goal sends the winner to the Division II state championship game at 2:15 on Saturday right here in Rink 1, the priority rink. Loser, season is over. Oh, there is no loser in this game. Everyone has played their guts out, and one team will absolutely be crushed, the other one will be elated. But both teams have shown amazing perseverance, great guts, and they played their heart out. 8 minutes up back on the clock. Whistle blown as we head into triple overtime. So is this going to be Ferris heads down to the right. Livonia going from right to left. Walled Lake going left to right. Ferris to the right. O'Connell to the left. As we are ready for a triple overtime to begin. As Greater Flint United and Grosse Pointe South sitting in their locker rooms. They're ready to get their Division I game going. But we continue to have hockey here. McQuarrie trying to fire it down the far boards. That knocked away right back to the blue line. Chipped ahead by Graysdorf. Now sent right back in along the near boards of the neutral zone. Sofa trying to fire it back deep. Stopped by Ferris. Now Austin has it coming ahead the far boards. Austin over on blue line. Knocked down by Sofa. Sofa trying to feed it through the neutral zone. Now Greco bringing it ahead. Greco gains the zone. That poked away right back to the near point. Now Shipley the other direction. Shipley trying to move it over, bringing it in, trying to fire it back deep was Manasala. They'll come all the way back to Austin at her own blue line. Chipped, trying to get it back is Rawhut. Manasala trying to pull that away. Now brought in, shot there by Statham, goes into the near corner. Digging at it, in along the near boards, that into the high slot. Brought ahead the other direction. Rawhut trying to pull it down the far boards. Austin has it into the neutral zone. Austin trying to move it ahead. Battle for it right in front of the scorer's bench. Brought down. Greco trying to move it. Roberts has it back in her own zone. 6:45 left to go here in this, the third overtime. It's just going to be a mistake or an amazing play that will end this game. .6:39 left to go. Face-off in the near face-off circle. Knapp versus Ava Atwood. Puck in along the near boards. Tim trying to get to it, still battling. Forrest trying to tip it away. Now gathered up and fed down by Howell. Chipped back right along the neutral zone. Now sent right back deep into the Livonia end. Ferris stops it, steers it along the near boards. Larson takes it back behind her own goal, coming down the far boards. Held in. Engel has it, trying to get through traffic, loose in the slot. Pulled back away down the near boards. Bringing it ahead is Otto. Otto gains the Walled Lake zone. Otto into the near corner. Ava Atwood trying to poke that away. Still digging in along the near boards. Loose now in along the end boards of the Walled Lake zone. That puck top of the far circle, or top of the near circle. Here comes Tim. Tim trying to get it back into the neutral zone. Brought right back in. Coming over, working in. Howell with the shot. Saved by O'Connell. Loose, another shot. Sitting out in front. And did the net come off of its moorings? As they're talking things over, the Livonia fans think it went in. And it's going to come on to the far face-off circle with 5:42 left to go here in triple overtime. Knapp in there versus Ava Atwood. Puck back to the far point. Shot there by Howe. Glove saved by O'Connell. Face off again in the far face off circle. 5:37 left to go in triple overtime. Again, Ava Atwood versus Knapp in that far face off circle. Puck loose. Now steered back to the far point. Howe with the shot. That off the side of the net coming into the far corner. Battle for it outside the far circle, trying to fire it back deep. Now Sofa has it in along the end board. Sofa coming down the far board. Sofa loose. Shot just goes wide to the near side. In along the near boards. Roberts trying to hold it in at the near point. Now into the far corner. Sofa has it there. Sofa feeds it down those far boards. Held in by Roberts. Puck outside the far circle. Now in along the end boards. Conti trying to pick it up. Conti. That puck into the near corner. Sofa coming down the near boards with it in the Walled Lake zone outside the near circle. Centering attempt. That comes back to the blue line. Roberts with it, far circle. Shot there. O'Connell with the save. Comes back outside the near circle. Held in. Now into the near corner. Hammond trying to backhand it out in front. Conti trying to dig it out of there. That puck bouncing. Puck as it's in. As Livonia wins. It was a bouncing puck. O'Connell tried her best, but nothing she could do about it. And Livonia United advances at 4:32. They will play at 2:15 Saturday for the Division II champion. Trying to see exactly who tipped that in, as it was a battle out in front. Again, all credit to Walled Lake as they played their guts out and battled very, very hard. Hopefully they'll announce who got it. There was a couple of people out in front. Best tradition in all of sports, the post-game handshake. Livonia United in the third overtime at 4:32 scored a bouncing puck in, as it was a battle in the crease. And all credit to the fantastic goalkeepers, as Livonia will advance. Much credit to all of these fans as well. I was hoping we'll get the call of the winning goal over across the way, but so Livonia United advances. We will step away as we have the next game coming up. That will be Greater Flint United, the Phoenix, versus Grosse Pointe South, as Livonia United wins. This triple overtime game brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting.